Welcome, history enthusiasts, to an exploration of Syracuse, New York, as it stands today in 2024. Syracuse is a bustling city, home to a diverse population and a vibrant economy. It houses the esteemed Syracuse University, the mammoth shopping center Destiny USA, and serves as the economic and educational heartbeat of central New York. It's a city that's as rich in culture as it is in history. Now that we've touched on modern Syracuse, let's unturn the pages of history and journey back to what life was like here 100 years ago. Welcome to Syracuse, New York, circa 1924. A bustling city of over 160,000 souls, it was a place where the echoes of industry chimed with the rhythm of progress. The economy was robust, powered by an engine of diverse industries, each leaving its indelible mark on the city's character. Salt production, once the city's lifeblood, had given way to a burgeoning manufacturing sector. Factories hummed day and night, producing goods that found their way across the country and beyond. Syracuse had earned its nickname, the Central City, serving as a vital hub in the state's economic network. Yet, it wasn't all work in Syracuse. The 1920s, known as the Jazz Age, brought with it a vibrant cultural scene. Jazz, with its improvisation and syncopated rhythms, echoed through the city's streets, wafting from speakeasies, dance halls, and even the grand theaters. It was a time of change, a time of excitement, a time of freedom, and Syracuse was right in the thick of it. The era of Prohibition had its own impact on Syracuse. While the law dictated a dry nation, the spirit of rebellion brewed beneath the surface. Speakeasies sprung up across the city, hidden behind the facade of soda shops and pharmacies, serving the thirst of those who preferred the allure of the forbidden. But Syracuse wasn't just about industry and jazz. It was also a city of learning. Established in 1870, Syracuse University was starting to make its mark on the city, attracting students from across the nation. Its influence was palpable, infusing the city with a youthful energy and an intellectual curiosity that would shape Syracuse's identity for decades to come. The roar of the 1920s, with its jazz music and prohibition, certainly left its mark on Syracuse. But how did the people of Syracuse live during this time? Let's delve into the daily life of a Syracuse resident in the 1920s. A typical day in Syracuse during the Roaring Twenties was a bright kaleidoscope of cultural, social, and technological changes. It was an era where jazz music floated through the air, syncopated rhythms echoing in the bustling city streets. This was the Jazz Age, and Syracuse was humming along to its lively beat. The city was alive with the spirit of prohibition. Speakeasies, hidden bars that illegally served alcohol, were tucked away in quiet corners of the city. These became social hubs, places where people from all walks of life could gather, discussing everything from the day's news to the latest dance craze. Economically, an average Syracuse resident was doing fairly well. The average income was around $1,000 a year. This might not seem like much by today's standards, but back then it was enough to comfortably cover the cost of living. A loaf of bread cost about a nickel, and the average rent for a house was around $25 a month. The cityscape of Syracuse was rapidly evolving, with new houses popping up to accommodate the city's growing population. The architectural style of the time was a mix of Victorian designs and the emerging trend of bungalows. These homes were often small, but they were designed to maximize space and were considered modern for their time. The 1920s were also a time of remarkable technological advancements. The introduction of the automobile brought about a significant change in the city's dynamics. Cars became more affordable and accessible to the middle class, which boosted mobility and transformed the cityscape. In terms of entertainment, radio was king. Families would gather around their radio sets in the evenings, listening to news, music, and radio shows. This was a time when the world was becoming smaller, and Syracuse was a part of that transformation. The 1920s were a time of significant change not just for Syracuse but for the whole country. The city we see today was shaped by these events and the people who lived through them. Now that we've journeyed through Syracuse's past, let's take a moment to compare it with the present. From the Roaring Twenties to the present day, Syracuse has experienced a whirlwind of transformation. Its industrial roots have given way to a thriving hub of education and health services. Yet the city's charm remains untouched, with its historic buildings and vibrant neighborhoods. Syracuse, a city steeped in history and shaped by its past, continues to evolve, carrying the legacy of its forebears into the future. Until our next historical journey, keep exploring, history buffs.